What up, Faith Room?
Going on, Faith Room. Good morning, and welcome to the Friday edition of the Faith Room.
What's up? Oh, come on in the room, everybody. Happy Friday. Listen, happy October 1st.
October 1st. Come on.
Look, Bone Thugs and Harmony in my spirit. It's the first of the month.
Get up, get up, get up.
Cash your check and come on. Come on. Where my Bone Thugs and Harmony at? Don't make me get Alexa.
Yeah, they'll actually be in Little Rock on the 16th.
Bone Thugs?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat. You going?
Y'all want me to do it? No. Pat just say he ain't going.
No.
Y'all know how I do it. Alexa, play It's the First of the Month by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Come on, y'all know how I do it.
Yeah. And while he's playing first of the month, y'all come on in.
Let's go.
Declare your day, tag, share, get some people in this room.
What's up? Go ahead, Nino. She said, go ahead, Nino. Yes, sir. And when I get back to 11, it's the first of the month. Get up. What's up, Pastor Weathers? What's up, man? Get up. All right,
come on in.
My little brother, Pastor Weathers, in here. Let me fix myself. Sorry, Pastor Weathers. I'm sorry, man. That's hey, now what's up? Happy October the 1st, man. 10 months. You owe God a praise right now. You owe God a praise.
Hallelujah.
Come on, Faith Room. You owe God a praise for keeping you for 10 long months when so many people did not make it. Come on, y'all.
That's real.
Let's go. So go ahead and declare your day, everybody. This is going to be a great Friday, prophets. I believe that, man. No drama, no mess, no stress.
Yes,
sir.
Great
yes, sir.
Friday.
Yeah. Larry Weatherly say it's the first of the month. Come on, Larry. Okay. Hey, Larry, if you singing it, little bro, I'm good with it, Pastor. All right. So, in fact, Pastor Weathers, I need your schedule for next week, man, to get you back in, man. Y'all remember Pastor Weathers, right?
Oh yeah.
An assassin. Just Pastor Weathers make you want to tear up your license and certificates and all that stuff. And that's my brother, man.
And then just go sit on the front row.
Just sit on the front row and listen. Like, Pastor, where you be coming up with this stuff from, man?
Yeah.
But good to have y'all in the room.
So since we're in a new month, I want y'all to just start putting in the chat something great that happened for you in the month of September. What was your September takeaway? What was it? What was it that really that's something that you learned, something that changed your life, or something great that happened for you in the month of September? You know, and we want to celebrate those good things because there's so many things that are negative that are taking place around us. So we want to highlight and emphasize those great things. So y'all talk to me, talk to us, put in the chat something great that happened for you in the month of September.
Wow. Stayed over.
What about you, Mr. O?
Wow. For me, this has been, last month anyway. Last month was such a revealing of the hearts. And what I mean by that, God began to expose certain people's hearts towards me. So for me, that was a good thing because what I believe was truth really wasn't truth. So sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a good thing, guys.
Yes, sir.
T. Woods, they releases all negative around me. Yeah, negative
vibrations. Vibrations. It should be vibrations around it. Yeah.
I got you. T, you've been so up in here too, T. I appreciate you. You've been up in here, T. Yeah. Worshiping and keeping God. What did Fifi say, y'all? Y'all tell me what Fifi talking about.
My whole family worshiping together. A little brother committed to coming to church with me.
Come on.
Overcome a horrible addiction. Wow.
Come on.
Latoya said she took a leap of faith. Tommy Gerby said he set himself free.
Amen.
That's good.
Don Burst. Look at what Burst talking about this morning.
got delivered from the spirit of haters. Be the best me, lead the rest to God. Come on.
All right.
Y'all, Don Burst driving to work, so y'all don't make him run off the road. Now, come on. Get to work, DB. Get to work. All right.
Yeah. Sylvia Stewart said new direction in her career.
All right.
That's good. Good.
All right now. Somebody say, all right now, Fifi. Everybody giving you love. Or your Andrews. Come on, y'all. And get your questions ready, y'all. This is a Q&A Friday. Get your questions, brother. Somebody read Brenda's statement. Brenda talking good this morning.
Go ahead,
All right. A breakthrough with my cousin who I've always protect. She says she never protected me. It was so heartfelt to hear her say this because I protected her because she never protected herself from people and their negativity towards her.
Wow.
Well, that's
awesome. Breakthrough. I love that word, breakthrough.
Love it.
Asia said left. What she say, y'all got to do. I'm doing the Cherie and all.
Left my comfort job and accepted a new job with new challenges.
Let's
go. Good deal, Asia. Good deal.
Yeah,
Sandra Glover said her blood pressure is the best it has been in years. Have been learning to take care of her thanks to the Faith Room family. That's awesome.
All right. Okarita says total freedom in Jesus. Way to go, sis. Classmate.
That's good. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. All right.
Yes.
Y'all tagging and sharing right now. Let's go. We're at 176. We'll start at 200 today. Let's go. We'll start at 200 live. Good morning.
This word breakthrough.
Yeah, that's another testimony, y'all.
Let's clean my spider webs out of my old sense that I was holding on to, and I let go and let God. Thank you, Faith Room. Sharon. God bless you.
Victoria.
Falling forward, released from religious spirit and traditions, free from family secrets and growing through generational.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on, Victoria. They coming in now, Cadrick. They listening to you, Doc.
Yeah. Found a new church home with great leadership. It has been a long time coming. I got some things back that were hung up. My zeal for Christ, my creativity. The greatest, I was filled with the Holy Spirit. Makisha Jackson.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Mine
says I began I missed it. I began going to greater life. And Nate Stewart gave me a new vision. Thank you, Pastor Nate.
Wow. Man.
All right.
That's a blessing. Receive. Thank you so much. Yeah. Y'all see it? No mess, no stress, no drama.
No drama.
Good morning. All right, what did she say? Bringing in boundaries.
That's
her second testimony. Yeah. Come on in, y'all.
That's honesty. It is hard to set those boundaries at first, but you know what? Keep doing it, sweetheart. Keep doing it. Keep working at it. Trust me.
Yes. Akia Johnson says her September has been nothing short of amazing. Her faith has grown. Her grown up has blossomed. And she's learned to let go of toxic people that have done nothing to her except hinder her.
Wow.
She says she still has some growing and letting go to do, but she's praying and staying close to those who help her growth instead of hindering her. That is so good. Community is so important. Go ahead and read that one, Prophet.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I love me and left my employer of 18 years. It was toxicity in the entire company. It has been so refreshing being away. God's taking care of me and my family through it all. We celebrate you guys. We celebrate you guys. Yeah. This is awesome.
Don Turner says God spared her and her husband during a battle with COVID. Got a new perspective on life. Come on.
That's good. Survive. 700,000, man. Gone.
Man.
Gone to be with the Lord, man. 700,000 people, man, and we still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all, I see that. Unique Jones, I see it. Y'all, we about to start in 2 minutes. Let's go.
Found herself and learned how to truly forgive.
Yes.
Wow. That can be one of the hardest lessons to learn and the hardest things to do is learning how to truly forgive.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, let's start today. We have a professional in the room today. And I want to say again, happy October. It's a Q&A Friday. And y'all, Elder Cherie will be back on Monday, Lord willing. I know y'all miss Elder. Y'all give our co-host some love. I give our co-host some love. And in fact, she's been with her staff. They've been on a retreat. And we thank God for Elder Cherie and what she brings to the team. These testimonies, it's almost like a testimony Friday. Y'all read that one. Come on now, Vernon. Yeah.
In September, I moved into my new home. Didn't think it would happen based on my past financial situation. At one time, I couldn't pay rent, and now I'm a homeowner. But God. Congratulations.
Wow. Did y'all see that? At one point, she couldn't pay rent.
Yes.
But now she's a homeowner.
God changes things. That's awesome, man.
That's real good.
Yes,
listen, y'all, let's lead into this. I want to hear from y'all real quick, man. We've been talking about breaking cycles, and man, it's been so rich. God has moved every single day. We have not really been able to get past the introduction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been really that good. Yeah. Pastor KJ, what's been the takeaway, man? What's been the takeaway for you? And then Pastor, what's been the takeaway for you guys, man? And then I'm gonna introduce our professional therapist.
I think the takeaway for me has been just me personally, is that you never know what is happening in someone's life to inform their behavior or their decisions, right? And so we have to take time to get to know people, right? When we're ministering to them, and so that was a takeaway from me, because just seeing all of the various comments and questions, it really, opened up my heart to have more compassion on people and be more empathetic. So that was me.
Pastor O, what about you, man?
Ditto.
Everything he said.
Everything he said.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do today, Pastor KJ, it is the first of the month. It is October. We're sowing 10 today, y'all. We're sowing in 10 today. I think that's a good thing to do. Everybody who has sown seeds today, man, we had over, I ain't gonna say how many people who were behind on their car note. And today, you know what we're gonna do? Pastor O, we're gonna take care of another car note today. How about that, man? And y'all know who's been, let me tell y'all something. She said something to me that's crazy. And y'all never know how the Lord gonna bless you. Y'all never know how the Lord gonna bless you. This girl right here, Lay Reed, y'all, she was, Facebook banned her for at least 2 days. There she go. Y'all see what she's doing right now, right? She tagging people. Y'all see what she's doing?
Wow.
They banned her, Cadrick, because she was tagging too many people.
Wow. Really?
She was the tag bandit. And they banned her. But from day one, let me tell you something, man. From the cell phone days, Lay Reed has been in the room. And you know what we're going to do today, Lay? We're going to bless you today, too. How about that?
That's good.
Lay, we're going to fill your car up today, Lay, and we're going to send you to lunch today. How many of y'all want to bless Lay Reed? Come on, y'all.
Amen.
I love it.
In fact, I'm sowing my $100. Well, you could sow in 10s, y'all. You sow in 10s, $1, right? You could do $10.
Yeah.
Right. And we want to play that other car note today. And our team will be getting those cash apps. And then we're gonna Lay Reed, y'all. I want to bless her, and we're gonna pay another car note today. All right. If you sent your invoice in to the team, we know who you are. And y'all just bear with us, and we're gonna help you. Y'all bear with us. The Lord is gonna bless us to bless you. All right.
Yes.
So go ahead now. Before we even get this word, we want to sow right now. Lay Reed, we love you. We love all of you. And we want to bless her life today. And she had a birthday. But man, Lay's been faithful when it was a cell phone. She was the one texting me, Pastor, we can't see you.
She went to jail for spreading the gospel, Nate. She went to jail for spreading the gospel.
Only Cadrick Jones could pull that out. Only Cadrick Jones.
Lay.
Totally.
Yeah, so we want to bless Lay Reed today. Y'all, she didn't know this blessing was coming, and we're gonna take care of a car note today. Because, man, I remember having to hide my car. I tell y'all, man, I will never forget where I've come from, man. I will never forget it. And some people get up and forget where they come from and don't want to testify. As to where God brought you from. And so we want to bless her life today. And some of you, man, you can't sow but $1. I promise you there will be a return on that dollar. I promise you there'll be a return on that $10. That $100 you're going to sow. Somebody could sow $1,000. I ain't playing. All right. I believe that the Lord is going to breathe on the seed. Y'all, today we have with us a professional, licensed associate professional counselor, young lady I've known for many years while serving in Atlanta, Georgia. And again, I thank God for divine connections. I thank God for sending people in my life who are just doing amazing things, okay? And Ayana is one of those, man, who's always been serious about God, number one. And number two, she's a professional, licensed associate professional counselor who practiced in the state of Georgia, all right? Ain't no party like a Georgia party, because a Georgia party don't stop, baby. All right? And so we appreciate her taking her time today to be a part of the Faith Room. Y'all welcome my friend, my sister, to the Faith Room for the first time, but definitely not the last time. Y'all welcome Ayanna Johnson. Come on, y'all. Give us a hand.
So excited to be here. Thank y'all.
I told you we crazy, Ayana. I told you we crazy. So thank you so much. Ayana, you busy. You took out of your schedule to be in the Faith Room today. And we're just happy to have you. Y'all, we have a professional. Pastor Cadrick, Pastor O, Elder Cherie, and myself, we love Jesus. And we know that Bible. All right? You know her, Ayana. You know Felicia Johnson. She giving you some love, girl.
That's my sister.
She got your name in all caps. All right, good.
That's my sister, my biggest
Felicia,
sister.
What's up, girl? Felicia said, if nobody else say amen, I got my sister today. All right, good deal. So, Ayana, I'm going to release you today. Cadrick Jones, who is probably the Faith Room questionnaire facilitator of questions. If I did a crime and went in the interrogation room with Cadrick, I'll just admit everything I did. Because what he gonna do, he gonna act it in a way where I'm gonna stumble anyway. So I'm just gonna say,
you know, tell on yourself.
Come on, hey, Orange detective, you know what? Detective, I did it, so I apologize. Pastor KJ, let's release this woman of God. She's gifted, she's talented. I think the room is going to really be blessed by her insight and wisdom. Let's get going, man, today. In Faith Room, listen to Pastor Nate. If you have any questions, I want you to type them in, and I will see if Ayana can get to them. If not, we'll bring her back. Isn't that cool? We can bring her back. All right, Pastor KJ, let's go, man.
Yeah, so Ayana, welcome again. Thank you for joining us here on the Faith Room. And we just want to start with one main question, because we've been talking about these cycles and breaking cycles. And sometimes breaking cycles is difficult, it's challenging. But what is it that makes it so difficult for people to break cycles, habits, behaviors?
So for me, what I've experienced, just dealing with different people, it's the cognitive programming. It's the mindset, especially when it's like a pattern from like most cycles start from before we were even created, right?
Wow.
Especially when you're dealing with like drugs, substance abuse, when you're dealing with like trauma. Some people think that trauma is like a learned thing or experience. It really starts like before. A lot of people have trauma from when they're in their mother's womb. Whatever your mama was dealing with is passed on to you. Like, it gets really deep. So we really like to start off from like childhood trauma. And then you kind of go from there. So if you have a cycle that you're dealing with and you just feel like you don't really know how to break it, like you're trying everything in your power, like go back to kind of revisit, like, how was the generation before you? And, you know, how did your mom or your grandma, what was their approach towards those type of things? And you'll start to realize, like, okay, this is like been happening. And now that I'm like the fruit of this rotten fruit, I don't know how to curve it. I don't know how to swerve it. So you start thinking about your insecurities. That's when you know, the insecurities flare up. Like, do I really know how to even do this?
Wow.
You know, you identify that it's there, and then you ask yourself, like, do I really even know how to change? You know, do I even really know what steps I need to take? So then that's when the fear comes.
Wow.
Okay. And out of fear, desperation is birthed. So you start to engage in toxic relationships. You want a man to love you. You want a woman to love you. You want, you know, to experience some form of comfort or peace from like another rotten fruit, because you don't really know what it looks like to really have freedom, to really know, you know, what is normal for you.
Yeah.
Right. And then it becomes a pattern of behaviors. It goes on and on and on and on until the first thing you do is acknowledge that it's a problem, right? And then the second thing you do is you actually take initiative to ask yourself, like, do I really deserve better? And what does that really look like for me?
Wow. Wow.
Right? And then
so I want to stop you for a second, because you said something, and I don't want us to miss what you said. You implied that sometimes our cycles and our patterns, they begin even before we were ever conceived in our mother's womb.
Wow, man.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And so when these patterns start, first of all, you're saying that sometimes we don't even know where it came from, and then we're lost, not even knowing whether or not we can break it because of everything that's going on.
Right. So that's why, as you know, we go from like a CBT is like one of the most common approaches in therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Where you start to really align up your brain with what was and what is to come. That's really like the outline of that approach in therapy. So it starts again with what was generations before you, for sure.
Wow. Wow, that's deep.
Wow.
So the way I was conceived, my mom was raped. That's deep. Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess the question Barbara wanted to know, Ayana, what does better look like? And again, this real time stuff. What does better look like when you?
So she reiterated the question that Ayana asked. Yeah. What does better look like?
Yeah. So better is. It is. So like I was saying, the first step is acknowledging that, you know, that there is a problem. Like you realize, like, I have a problem, and acknowledging it and accepting it. The second step is determining, like, do you really deserve it? Because you can acknowledge it and somebody else can tell you, hey, you know, you deserve to be doing better, or you deserve a better relationship, or you deserve to do things a little different. But you have to actually be receptive of that within yourself. And then the third thing is identifying what better looks like for you by like taking the steps to really engage in a new mindset. And that's going to be determined in that third step. Everybody's better is different, and better means I feel better. I look better. I'm able to operate in my purpose. I'm more encouraged. My light is shining. I'm not such a negative person like I was. I don't accept the things I used to accept.
That's good, Ayana.
So better is not the same for everybody.
No, by far.
and therefore we can't. So you're saying we can't really judge someone else's progress and say that they should be further along than what they are.
Absolutely.
That's so good. That's
good. There's a question up, but before we get to that, well, yeah, let me go on and get it. Laylee. What I say, Lele?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, dog.
That's probably a nickname, Lele.
Yeah. Richard Miller said, I was shaped in iniquity, and in sin was I conceived. Trauma from the womb. Trauma from the womb. That's good. What are some tips? Go ahead, Owen, read that question since I'm working the board and everything. Y'all got me doing too much. Go ahead.
All right, sir. So what are some tips to get through recent trauma grief? How can I not pour into so many others when my cup is receding? What is on the other side of trauma?
How can I not pour into so many others when my cup is receding? So some tips to get through traumatic grief. Knowing the processes of grief, actually like going through grief, and grief is different levels of grief. Some grief you're able to like really just manage on your own between you and God. But there's also like a really depressive stage of grief where you feel like all hope is lost and, there's no, you don't really see anything outside of what you're dealing with. So therapy, I mean, I hate to, therapy. Therapy is the greatest form to get through grief that you feel like is kind of like you don't have any control over what's going on. And what's on
therapy, getting back to it.
Yeah.
Dealing with it.
Yeah. What is on the other side of trauma? And I guess you just kind of hit that with that, you start to feel better. And I think that, is that true, Ayana? Do you really, do the people who have overcome, do you ever overcome trauma? That's the question I have. Do you ever overcome it? Or do you just learn to kind of deal with what happened?
That's good.
I think it's both.
Okay.
So you overcome it because you're no longer like inside of it. You're no longer a part of it, right? But it initially becomes who you are. So it's no way of just saying like I overcame that trauma and that's just not who I am anymore. But it actually goes hand in hand. I know y'all heard of the stage like where people say something like, okay, you can't just bandage up the problem. You have to actually go inside of the womb and deal with it and get the proper surgery for it. Not a Band-Aid won't work because you can't like move forward properly if it's just bandaged. But once you actually deal with the womb and start to heal, then you have like a scar left on you. So it becomes who you are later on down the line. Like most people aren't who they are without trauma and without the things that they've dealt with.
Wow. Wow. It shaped my life. There's another question, and I see Gina's question. What steps should you take to deal with frustration? And Gina Lou, who is so transparent and open, we're going to get to that question. But another question that came in yesterday, how do you help someone regain their footing after acknowledging and apologizing for failure? That question came in.
How do you help someone regain their footing after acknowledging and apologizing for failure? I'm not really sure if I understand the question.
Yeah. So
after
so this person, they recognize that maybe they weren't the best parent that they could have been. Right. They went back. They apologized to their child, acknowledged it. But now it's difficult trying to move past that period of failure that they had.
Yeah.
Is it difficult for them or the child or the whole relationship?
The whole relationship.
Okay. So the child is still, even though the mother has apologized, the child is still kind of holding the parent hostage.
Yeah.
And the parent is still basically feeling, okay.
That's good.
Therapy. I'm sorry.
Say that.
Yeah. And it's okay to say that. You don't have to apologize for saying that.
Therapy. They're gonna need some family therapy to really, because apology is great, but you have to like work through the trauma and really identify the specifics of like how you hurt me, how that felt, you know, these are the people that were involved. Okay, well, you know, this was my approach towards it, and you know, I didn't like that way, or can you let that person go, or you know, like to really find a level, get kind of on the same level moving forward, so that it can be like a successful, healthy relationship.
Yeah. So with that being the case, would it require both the parent and the adult child to go to therapy?
Yes. Yes. And and a lot of times both parties are not willing, right?
Yeah.
So in those type of cases, for her, I would just suggest that she would start with herself, you know, and then kind of invite the child into a few sessions. But ultimately she has to, because we're dealing with I don't know how old the child is, but we're dealing with a child or a young adult and a parent. So at the end of the day, you have to remember that you are the parent, right? So you have to like really forgive yourself and like learn to forgive yourself and learn to heal within yourself, because you're never really going to know how to love that child appropriately if you kind of holding on to that guilt within yourself. Even if y'all did go to therapy together, you have to like release it within yourself so that you can move forward genuinely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Derek Brown, Ayana, who's in the A with you in ATL, he's also licensed counselor. Trauma requires the rebuilding of trust, and that is best done a part of therapy. Best done a part of therapy. Okay, I think you said that right. Larry Weather said therapy is not an answer to a question; it's a solution to the soul.
Yeah.
Larry, I like that.
Love that. Love
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Good deal.
Now I want to go back to something you said earlier, because you said something that I have never heard it put that way, that trauma becomes a part of who you are, right? And in one sense, you never get over it, but in another sense, you can come out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You learn how to you learn how to deal with it at a more positive, in a more positive way, and actually use it at your benefit versus it becomes a blessing versus a curse. It becomes light versus darkness.
I'm sorry, I just went somewhere with that. So you can actually use trauma to your advantage.
Wow.
If you navigate through it properly.
Correct.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So what happens if I refuse to acknowledge that there's trauma?
Then you stay stuck.
Wow. You stay stuck.
You know, you can go to therapy, you can go to church, you can call up your accountability partners, people can talk to you till you blue in the face. But until you like take initiative with that second step that I was talking about, how you like, the first step, acknowledging that there is a problem, that there is something going on that's off within you. You're not going to always identify like, oh, the reason I'm like this is because my grandma started it. Like, no, you're going to realize like something's off with me. You know,
wow.
I'm continuing the same things that continue to hurt me, that continue to hold me back in life. I'm not progressing mentally, physically, emotionally. Like I'm not really happy. I just portray to be happy. Like you have to really have self-talk with yourself and like tell yourself like, this is the reality of who I am. I'm just portraying to be someone else. And that's how you're going to know, like, there's something wrong with me, you know?
Yeah. And before we get to Nolan's question, do you think part of the problem is people are afraid to make that statement and
Absolutely.
say something is off with me?
That's a lot what goes on in the world. There's a lot of people that are fearful of what that may look like on the other side. Like, because to be honest, a lot of people are comfortable being negative or comfortable in toxic situations. They're comfortable. They're thriving in those type of positions. So it's scary to know like what that really looks like if I step out of my comfort zone.
Oh, that's crazy to me.
Man.
that people are comfortable in toxicity? Is that because, Ayana, that's all they know?
Well, it's a lot that, you know, there's a lot of different factors that play in that, but yeah, all that, you know, and also it's kind of like, you know, why would I change? I can manipulate myself through life. I can kind of get what I need in that moment. You know, I can, you know, there's so many ways to look at it, but ultimately, yes, it's a pattern of behaviors that people just become accustomed to. And on the other side of that is fear and insecurities. And you have to actually deal with yourself when you actually want to release yourself from trauma or release yourself from like this form of darkness. You have to actually step outside of it and deal with yourself. And that's a task and a sacrifice that a lot of people don't want to do. They'd rather just kind of go day by day and just, you know, operate.
Wow.
It's so many comments coming in, and y'all see, I like these therapists because they don't holler at you.
So cocoa butter and shea butter.
Just so smooth.
Like, why do therapists talk like that? Y'all, do they teach y'all that in school? Like, I guess people don't like to be hollered at. Y'all got to get help. If you don't recognize it ain't gonna move. You got to, but you see how Ayana gotta acknowledge it and recognize. Let's get Nolan. Let's get Nolan and all these questions coming in. This is so soothing to me. You want to go over that one, KJ?
Yeah. So what if, like you said, I was born in this cycle of curses, did not know, made it a part of my life, comfortable with it, and can't recognize it. How can someone help me if I'm stuck in my ways, or there's no help for people like that?
Whew, stuck in your old trip. Nolan.
Okay, so Nolan's question is kind of contradicting, because he said, what if, like you said, I was born in a cycle of curses and did not know that, made it a part of my life, comfortable with it, and can't recognize it. So you do recognize it, because you just said that you made it a part of your life and you are comfortable with it, or you became comfortable with it. How can somebody help me if I'm stuck in my ways? You stuck in your ways because you don't want to, you want to be stuck in those ways because you're comfortable. That's kind of just taking me back to what I was just talking about. Like, I get it, Nolan. It's uncomfortable to get out of those ways, because you've kind of labeled yourself like, this is just who I am. So nobody can't really change who I am. But honestly, because you're acknowledging a part of your question, you are actually acknowledging like there's something not right, because you're saying you're comfortable with it. So that's you've made it who you are, but something in me is kind of feeling different about your statement. Like you really don't, that's not really who you are, but you just kind of made it who you are, and you want people to kind of just accept that. And then so you're one of those, if you go to a therapist, you can be like, well, this is just who I am, and people just gonna have to accept who I am. But I don't even feel like you want to accept that that's who you are.
Wow. Oh, that's deep. Whew. So when what would you say to a person? And I think this creates breaking a cycle. If a person admits that this is just who I am and I'm connected to that person, what advice do you give to the person connected to the person who says this is just who I am?
Connected in what ways, though? Because you don't have to be connected.
Family. You can't unbecome my uncle, but if you stuck in your ways, and it's affecting my life, or if I'm in a relationship, hold it. I'm married. I'm just stuck in my ways. This is just who I'm gonna be. Because some people feel like they can't move, they can't shift their life. What do you say to a person who's dealing with a person who's stuck in their ways? Like Nolan. Somebody say separate yourself. I just want to get a clinical view on that. Get out. Some people say leave. That's easier said, but Ayana, I'm asking you, because some people are in some stuff right now, and we say be patient. That's what the church say, be patient.
Yeah.
The fruit of the Spirit is patience. but they ain't making no changes. Okay, Ayana, I'm gonna be quiet and let you talk.
Well, it's the same in most cases, like working through the problem. Like, and if the other, now it's a lot of ways to look at that question, but like if the other person is realizing, in most cases they realize it, but they don't want to admit it, that they're stuck in their ways, or that's just who they are. Natasha just commented and said, you make a choice for your life. And that's kind of where I was going. You got to do, because at the end of the day, and it comes to that I gave y'all 3 pointers at the beginning. The first one is acknowledging that is something there. And the second thing is knowing what you deserve. And the third thing is actually taking the initiative to embark on something new. So the second, you would fall into the second statement of what I said, which is actually giving yourself what you deserve. And a lot of times that means like, I got to let you go. Like we've been going on for this thing for years and years and years, and there's still no change, because you can't change anybody. Like they have to be willing to do that. So it's going to ultimately affect you. It's going to affect your confidence. It's going to affect your purpose. It's going to dim your light. It's going to slow you down. You know, doors are not going to open, like, because you're putting so much focus on the other person that you kind of minimizing the focus that you could put on yourself. So I'm probably on the same terms as a therapist about what everybody else would say. Like, you got to put you first. And I'm not saying what that looks like for you. If that means walk out the relationship or leave the person alone, but I would definitely put in the effort, work with the person if they're willing. You know, but if they're not, there's nothing you can do about that. And ultimately, it's just going to keep harming you. It doesn't help you, and it doesn't make you feel, you know, your best.
Wow. Pastor O, what you thinking, man? Jump in. And I see your comment, Renee.
Okay.
I'll get it. Go ahead, Pastor O.
Twice I heard you use the word purpose. And so I'm going to ask you, what does purpose play in breaking these cycles?
Okay, that's a good one. So, purpose in breaking cycles. So, purpose is really taking the initiative to kind of understand why you were created, what that looks like for you, why, you know, you are who you are, and what is your role on this earth, right? So once you acknowledge what your role is on this earth, and you acknowledge like that this is, even though my mom, my dad, my siblings, everybody is this way, once you start to acknowledge, like engage in yourself and start to like kind of check mark, okay, like I'm very smart, check mark. Oh, I know how to actually do things different. Like I know I was raised in poverty, but something inside of me don't want that. Like that's not really who I am. Okay, check mark. Okay, I know that growing up, my mom used to teach me this certain way, but you know, that's not really. So once you start to realize and identify who you are personally, then that's when you will be able to acknowledge like, okay, there's some cycles that's been happening in my life over and over and over, but it don't align up with who I am. People think like, well, I am my mama's child, I am my daddy's child. Yes, you are. You were created from them. But ultimately in life, you got to find your own identity. So when people take the moment and the time to actually identify who they are and what the generations after them is supposed to look like, then that's when you can really tie the two together. Like, this is a cycle that I've got to break, or I'm actually going to choose to stay in this cycle. I'm just going to accept, like the guy said before, that comment that he just made, like it's been happening and I'm just kind of choosing to like stay there. This is my comfort zone. You can either make it your comfort zone, or you can make the decision to like fall into the identity of who you know you're supposed to be.
Wow, that's good. Verna Gant said this. Let me read this, Pastor O, and I'm gonna let you push it. All of this hits home for me. While I love my family dearly, I've consciously separated myself from them. There are cycles that they are stuck in from 70 years ago to date. It has caused me to be protective of my peace and functional life. That's good, Verna. Thanks for sharing that. Go ahead, Pastor O.
In dealing, and Verna said, and I'm the type of person I can just grab one word. She dealt with family. And so what is the narrative that you need to have with your family pertaining to these cycles? Can you have those conversations with, previous generations to be able to understand and how to deal with those?
Okay.
Or should you even have those conversations?
That's good.
Okay, so because I'm a therapist, but first off, I'm God's child. So I definitely go off of like, I don't make decisions like that unless I'm led, because you kind of setting yourself up to be hurt. So if you go to like your mom or your grandma or somebody that, you feel like in your mind that you should be able to go to, because that's kind of like normal. But especially in the African American community, we don't like to deal with stuff when it comes to emotions, when it comes to accountability. Like, it's just not a topic that is preferred, right? Everybody would rather just mask themselves and just kind of operate and go and, pretend like the love is there, pretend that everybody's on the same accord, right? So you don't want to set yourself up to go to talk to somebody about something that you feel like you should be able to talk to them about, and you get hurt. Or they start to act like you're a problem, especially when you're dealing with like narcissistic behavior. Nobody wants to like identify themselves as a problem. Or even if you're not going to them like they're a problem, you just want answers as far as how this cycle began. They're ultimately going to be, they're going to feel like you're pointing the finger at them or like they did something wrong. So I would definitely do it if you feel led, like you feel like your family and how they're going to react. But sometimes it's best to just leave it alone and just keep it between you and God and work on yourself and get the help that you need.
Wow, this is good, Ayana, and you're doing it with such grace, man. You're sharing it. Somebody, or do you want to read this comment question? It's laced in two.
Sure. How can you help a person who spent most of their life being walked over and seeing this? You help them to have a voice, and now that they do, they're mean and somewhat evil to the ones closest to them, but sweet as pie to outsiders.
I like how you read and process before you answer. That's good. And we may could come back to that, but that's a good question. And if you need more clarity, Ayana, we can ask for it.
Okay, I see what she's saying. So she's basically, she's saying that she's helped to pour into someone. And now that they have like a voice and they're a lot stronger, they're mean and evil to the people closest to them, but sweet as pie to the outsiders. I've got a feeling she's talking about some narcissistic man, to be honest with you. She's taking time to pour into him. She's taking time to, love on him. But Kim, it don't matter. People are going to be who they choose to be. And just like Natasha, when she posted, she said, you have to choose you first. Like, you have to all the energy that you took and the time that you took to pour into him and the time that you took feeling like you were going to get something in return. You did an investment in him thinking that you would get that same investment in return, or like you would be kind of like priority in his life for whatever reason, but you didn't get those results. So all you have to do at this point is use what you did and pour it back into yourself. And the results that you were looking for from him, hold yourself accountable to give it to yourself and actually see those results from you putting that energy back into yourself.
That's so good.
Kim followed it up and said, it's deeper than a man. It was a family member.
Family member. Same. How we mess up is when we have expectations for people. You can't, it's like you can have expectations for people when you know that it's like, it's so far stretched, to be honest. But if I were you, I would just not have expectations for people. That's kind of how you don't get hurt. And that goes back to what I was just saying about people going to their family members and asking about cycles. Like, you're expecting something and you didn't get that in return. You just set yourself up to get hurt.
Wow, I love that. Michaela said they will suck the life out of you, and you got but one life. Don't let them do that to you. Take it personal. Wow. Apple Jacks. Somebody read Apple. You want to read Apple Jacks?
Oh, I got you. Yes, sir. You have to be very careful when loving and supporting a broken person, because at times they can drain you of your light and be back on their feet. And now you've absorbed a lot of their pain, and now you're broken. Try your best to give balance. Make sure that you recharge your faith while you were assisting someone else.
Wow.
All right.
That's cool.
All right.
Faith room, you have a voice.
Yeah.
Where does compromise play in breaking cycles?
Where does compromise play? So compromising is just, you really have to understand like the other person's perspective. Like in breaking cycles, it's like understanding the other person's view a point, like seeing things just one way, or seeing that there's a problem just with you and not really acknowledging like why the other person did what they did, or feeling like there's no reason why the other person should have done what they did. Like, you got to like really remove that personal perspective of how you look at the situation at hand and kind of meet the other person in between. So compromising, understanding that there's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
That's so good. There are two sides to every story.
Every story. Every story.
Tommy Gerber said we're doing surgery today. Yes, we are. One question here. How do you, and what time we got, y'all? We got a few more minutes here. How do you deal with that person that says, that's just who I am, when you are a minor child and the person saying this to you is your parent?
Accept who they are at that point. You said a minor child. Oh, when you're a minor child. Okay. I don't know. You can't really do anything as a minor. I don't know what age that will look like. Minor could be 5, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the age, your mom? Yeah, you can give
the age.
Yeah. So it sounds like the child, the parent has some dysfunctional behaviors, and the child is trying to, make sense of it, and the parent is telling them, "This is just who I am. Deal with it."
You have no escape. I mean, as a minor, unfortunately, until you get of age and you acknowledge. I would love to know, like, is that really minor expressing themselves, or what that situation really looks like?
Yeah.
And so once again, we're going to need someone to be an advocate for the child. Yeah. So someone should be able, even in the family, someone should be able to step up and say, hey, listen, what you're doing is hurting your children.
Yeah.
Someone ought to be truthful about that.
The minor needs
to give some context. Jermon, he is a foster parent. And so he runs into situations.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So he does advocate, for the children, but now he's trying to help children navigate through this process as well.
Oh, okay. So he's the child's outlet. So
that's good.
We all know it takes a village. So it don't always come. That guidance don't always come from your parent.
Yeah.
And I know that from personal experiences. So
wow.
Yeah, Brittany said I would love a discussion around expectations, standards, and boundaries. He said it's a teenager, 14 years.
Okay, so as his foster parent, Richard, you would just, guide him, give him a new perspective without diminishing the characteristics of his mom even more than what she's already presenting. Yeah. So like our job as the side source is not to like your mama crazy, you know, she got problems. Like, no, you want to try to give him some healthy balance, like a new perspective, but also like a healthy perspective.
That's good. I have this question here, and I'm going to close with this. Latoya Andrews, I think you're in here. I wanted to save your question for last because we didn't get to it. And maybe you've heard your answer, Latoya, but I want to give you honor by reading it. How do you step out on faith when you've been abused? Teenage mom, and been on my own since I was 15 with no guidance. She said, I'm now 42, dealing with a lot of old baggage, and I'm hurting inside. Latoya, I wanted to close with your question today because I think it's very powerful. Ayanna, you want to give this young lady some hope? Been abused, been on her own since she was 15, no guidance in her life. She's now 42, and she feels like the old baggage is creeping up in her life.
What's her name? Latoya?
Latoya.
Okay. Latoya, I'm really happy to hear that you are the age that you are right now, and you realize like there's something going on with you, you know, like life is not really shaped how it should be at your age. Obviously, that's what you are acknowledging. I just want to take a moment to just encourage you to know that in life, I know people say it all the time, like these are the cards that were dealt to me, right? So unfortunately, we all have those cards that were dealt to us, and it's all about really just trying to find a new light through it all. I'm really sorry to hear about your upbringing and the things that you've dealt with, but I really want you to start to focus on like trying to turn those, turn that pain into power. Okay. And what you're going to have to do that is to really like find what makes you whole. Like identify what makes me happy. What do I feel like I can gravitate to? That's something that's a natural thing for me to make me feel like I look good. I feel good. I'm not as dim. I'm not as dark as I feel. Like you have to identify what those things look like for you in specific. Forgive yourself because your past is not who you are. Your past is not something that you had control over. So like release it, forgive yourself, forgive the people who have hurt you. And that's the first step that is going to take you to be able to find some type of light out of this situation, just by acknowledging that this was not your fault. And you had no control over half of the things that has happened to you up until this age. But right now, at the age that you are, I believe that, God is igniting something inside of you and you're starting to realize like something is off. So what you have to do to kind of gravitate to that light that's kind of shining over you right now, that you're kind of like resistive of because of your childhood, you want to really find some things that are that bring you that sense of joy or excitement inside of you, and run with it and run in freedom, run in your healing, walk, own it, become it, allow it to be your existence. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something that you want to pass on down to the next generations. Like you want to be the one to break that cycle. So find something that's going to bring you that sense of, again, we get back to the word purpose. So.
Yeah, that's good. And Latoya, people are saying you're not alone. Everybody is opening up. Kate Armour said this: sharing your story helps heal. The more you tell it, the less hold it has over us.
Please don't be ashamed of the story. It is literally who is out to make. It's out to make you, not break you, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I can go on and on with you, to be honest with you.
That's her right there.
Whole session.
That's her right there. Confirmation. So well said. I needed that healing. I'm always being misunderstood.
Perfect.
Latoya was in the room today.
Good stuff.
Richard said another great session. Y'all think we should bring Ayana back? Y'all want to bring her back?
Yes.
Yeah, let me get on out of here. I'm on this hourly rate with these therapies. You know, they
Who you said they need to see on the way out?
Yeah, Amber
or Hannah?
Hannah. It's always a Hannah at the desk taking the payment, Ayana. It's always a Hannah. You never see, go see Monet when you head out. No,
go see Keisha.
No. Let's read Kalicia's statement. And then Ayana, can you think of a charge for the day? Just a one-liner. Think about that a second. Because we're going to post it on our Facebook page. What would be the one takeaway today? It may be just one line of what we could take away today.
Okay.
Kalisha said, I am determined to do the work, to spend the rest of my life giving myself the best of life. However, working through the past is draining mentally and physically, and it forces me to pause so that I can remain present for my children. So I feel like I'm always starting over. Would love some tips or advice so that I'm not always feeling defeated. That's why we need you, Ayana. You see your purposes.
Amen.
And we give her one small nugget before we go. Just what she feels defeated. I know we got to go. I know they probably need to set up an appointment, but you in Georgia. But anyway.
Okay. So her thing is, it sounds like she's determined to do the work. She's going through the past is draining mentally and physically. So I don't know if Kalisha is referring to, like, when she say going through the past, when she says doing the work, it sounds like she may be meeting with a therapist and she's like feeling like she have to constantly revisit those things. And it forces her to pause. So how do I remain present for my children? Well, it's all about, so dealing with trauma and dealing with your past experiences is a very uncomfortable state of mind. Okay. Most people don't want to do it. They don't want to deal with it. That's why most people don't. Right. But as you continue to, hopefully you're saying you're dealing with it because you're saying you're determined to do the work. So you're actually dealing with it. So as you continue those sessions, or as you continue to like work with yourself, whatever approach that you are taking to deal with it, use it as a fuel. You know, when you're dealing with your kids and when you have to be able to have it, because it's a huge, and if you are a single mom, it's a huge responsibility. You got to be on call, on site, on duty. Their life is yours. So your life is theirs. Their life is yours. You know, so you got to find, like, where is my life through all of this? My life for my life versus my life for the kids, or their life for mine. So when you're thinking about being present for them, use the things that you're dealing with in the past, because I'm getting the idea that you're saying you want to do the work and you're able to work through it. Use that as a fuel when you're dealing with them, to know, like, all right, I'm working through this stuff, and these are the things that's like really charging me to be the best mom that I can be, because I've got to break these cycles. What I'm dealing with on this back end cannot move forward to this next generation when it comes to my children's children. So when you're looking at your kids and when you're dealing with them, and when you got to like show up for them with their problems, like that, use what you're dealing with your therapist, or what you're dealing with on your personal time when you're dealing with the past, as a fuel to drive you to become the best version that you can for your children.
That's good.
Can I add just one thing, Pastor?
Yeah, last one. Go ahead, man. This is so good.
I just want to say, and it's something that you have always told us. And one of the words that she said was defeated. And this is what you have always, since the beginning of starting the Faith Room, you have always taught us, celebrate your victories.
Yeah.
Yep. Celebrate those victories. Every victory, every time, like you said, you're working, celebrate that. Celebrate that you're getting better. Yep. Celebrate that. Celebrate it.
Absolutely. She said thank you. What's that takeaway today, Ayana? We got to let you go. What's the takeaway today?
Oh, I forgot about that fast. Okay.
I threw another question at you. That's me. That's my bad.
Okay. Be the best version of yourself. Become the best version of yourself.
I like that. Become the best version of yourself.
That's good.
I'll say take steps to become.
Yeah, take steps to become the best version of yourself. And I think that's what a lot of today's talk was about, like, you know, the approach and the steps to take. So.
All right, y'all. Ayanna Johnson. Listen, how can they follow you? You have a book out too, Ayana, that you wrote, right? How can they get your book? Tell us about your book.
Sure. I have 3 books. The first one is Ruthless, and Ruthless talks about, like, it's the biblical story of Ruth. That's kind of the outline, but I'm not like talking about the story. It's like using that as like the outline to identify like ruthless characteristics. Like, I don't want to be this way anymore. I don't want to, you know, have this type of personality anymore as a woman. So it identifies what those characteristics are and how as women we can have less of those characteristics that God expects us to have to be the best versions of ourselves as women. So Ruthless. The second one is The Ratchet Road to Righteous, because I just talk about like transitioning from one lifestyle to the next with that one. And then Trusting God When There Seems to Be No Reason to.
Wow.
That's the third book. And that's kind of self-explanatory.
You've written 3 books, Ayana.
Yeah. And the fourth one will be released in December.
Wow.
Just that last one alone, I think you could do just a faith room by yourself. Just that last one alone. Like, wow.
Trusting God when there seems to be no reason.
Yeah.
Man. Woo. I'm so proud of you, man, to be a Black sister, man, doing what you're doing, and still from remembering you at household, still maintaining your integrity, man. That says a lot.
Thank you.
Still the same calm, quiet beast that you are. Somebody said it felt like we were in therapy today. Y'all, Pastor Cat, we're going to sow today, right, man? I've already sown my seed. We're going to bless Ayana today.
Yeah.
We're going to pay a car note today. Yeah. And we're going to take Lay Reed because she's been arrested for the Facebook arresting her for sharing too much.
Y'all know that meal you get when you get out of jail.
Yeah, that first meal when you get out of jail. Yeah, we're going to bless her today. So y'all, we want to bless our guest today. We want to bless a person with a car note, the back car note today. And for all those who are inboxing about your car note, we had a whole list of people. So we're just kind of going down that list now. And so just keep your invoice in, though, because you never know when the Lord's going to put it on our heart to be a blessing to you. So we're being obedient. I know I'm walking in integrity with this platform, and I know God is going to keep breathing on it. So with that being said, everybody take a moment right now and sow a seed into this room. It's October. How do you want your October to look? That seed speaks volumes, guys. Yeah. And I want you to sow a seed so that we can continue to bless people like Ayana, bless people who are in need, and be a blessing to our world and our community. With that being said, let's go to God in prayer. Ayana, you want to pray us out, sis?
Sure, absolutely. Right. Let me share my Instagram before we pray.
Yes. Yeah.
Therapist Ayanna Johnson.
All right. There you go. IG. Therapist Ayanna Johnson on IG.
Yeah.
Go follow, y'all. Go follow. Go on and pray for us, sis.
All right. Heavenly Father, we lift you up and we glorify you, Lord. I just thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for these men that you brought into my life, God, to just help me to shine my light through this platform. I thank you, Lord, for the lives that has been transitioned on today, Lord. And I just ask, God, the people who have commented and poured out themselves publicly today, Lord, that you will bless them publicly. All the concerns that they have shall be perfected in the name of Jesus. God, make them whole, make them better, make them new, give them a better understanding and a light, Heavenly Father, that is undeniable as they continue on throughout this journey with you. Initiate something inside of them, God, that only people, God, who know you will be able to understand what it is that they're having on top of them or that they're going through, Lord, that it's going to be so amazing, God, that it's going to literally change the caliber that they deal with, the people that they're around, the surroundings that they are connected to, Lord. I speak that right now over their lives. I pray for the Faith Room, and I just pray that you just continue to expand this platform. Continue, Lord, to let it be known nationwide and do what you do as God. We love you, we bless you, and we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Have a great weekend. Be intentional. Make it a great Friday. Take care, guys.
I want to say this real quick. I want to say this.
Love you guys.
Sister. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. I can't Bye.
I knew you was waiting on it.